Distinguished adventurers, welcome to Weekly Patronage, where I'm apparently looking for a game to capture. Oh, hey, there it is. Hey, the timing on that is always a little weird, but hey, here we are. Welcome to Weekly Patronage. It's a Monday. I'm Lauren. I'm here to hang out with all of you and do a couple of the Patron Challenges and answer questions and be on live right now and hang out with chat on this Canadian Turkey Day. It is Indigenous Peoples Day here in America. It is, I think yesterday's technically Canadian Thanksgiving, but they get off today, which is why many of my wonderful Canadian colleagues are not around today. And hopefully they're having a wonderful day. But I am lucky to have the wonderful Ryan, aka Mars, in chat, enjoying being a moderator and a producer and doing all of the fun things. So welcome. We're here to hang out and drink some tea because, hey, you know, if I'm gonna have Mars as my friend and moderator in chat, gotta have some tea. And I have nerds. I was able to find D&D nerds. I found them in my local area, and so as you can see, I've already broken into the nerds because why not celebrate Canadian Thanksgiving with all of the sugar? Because it's sugar. Why not? How is everybody doing in chat? Hi, Balkan25. Daedlass says Canadians don't get a Thursday and Friday off for Thanksgiving. No, because their Thanksgiving is on a Sunday, so they get the Monday. Or it's on a Monday and they mostly celebrate on a Sunday. I reserve the right to be semi-wrong about this, despite the fact that Luke is Canadian. I should know about this, but I don't. But it's one of those, that because they celebrate Thanksgiving over the weekend, they just get the one day. So yeah. How we doing? Hi, Tim Nose. People talking about ordering their nerds online. So yes, we are here today to hang out, take care of some Patron challenges, eat some nerds, answer some questions, and, you know, have a little bit of a fun time. I've got my Trials game going on here because I am in the middle of a Trials of Mount Tiamat. We're doing pretty good. And if you do have any questions in chat, well, I like to keep an eye on the chat. That's why Mars is here, because Mars is really good about grabbing stuff out of chat. Definitely put question before your question in big capital letters so that they can grab it and make life easy for all of us. And I will do my best to answer game questions, patron questions, tea questions, nerd questions, D&D questions, Trials of Mount Tiamat questions, either about Trials or about the epic Idle Champions Presents Trials of Mount Tiamat. I probably know a little bit more about that than I do about actual Trials, because I know there's been some updates to that. So, but ask your questions. We'll hang out. It'll be good. I'll go ahead and just crunch away on some D&D nerds. I'm gonna eat an entire handful, because why not eat an entire handful of crunchy nerds on stream so you can all hear all of the screams of the nerds. Oh yeah, it's sugar. This is how I get through 2 hours of streaming, everybody. Tea and sugar. Kiwi Mischief wants to know what a nerd looks like. I can do more than just show. I can tell. So here we go. I'm going to do my best here. Here, let's switch over to my other camera, which is the same camera except bigger. So nerds, in their classic form, are literally just little tiny bundles of sugar. I got one of the bigger ones here, but here, let me show you my nerds. So those are nerds. They're a candy-coated bit of crunchy sugar joy in a bunch of different colors. And yeah, I think they're supposed to have flavors, but it's just sugar. And it's wonderful. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love sugar. I'm not going to complain about sugar. It's fine. But yes, that is what they look like. All right. Sorry, I had to check in with Mars. Okay, so we should talk a little bit about some patrons, and then we'll take a little bit of time and talk about some other things, like more nerds. I mean, it's easy for me to get off track. But yes, if you've joined us today and you've grabbed your Electrum chest code, let's do some patron challenges. So the first thing I want to do is find out from the chat which of our patrons we should start with. So I have 2 adventuring parties today, ready to go, hot off of doing as many of the Dahani free play runs as I could to get all the Dahani chests, but that event has ended, and so I can do 2 of the 4 patrons. And so who's the first patron that we should tackle? And Mars, if you want to take a moment, I would love if we can get a poll going, and we'll see if we can get a poll going to decide which patron we'll tackle first. Also, thank you, the Lurking Writer, for subscribing. I appreciate that. And also, I'm being told that my lamps are flickering. Oh yeah, they're flickering. They're doing especially this one. Oh, I gotta fix that. Okay. Ryan, go ahead and start a poll for what patron we should tackle first. And I'm gonna go fix this light. I'll be right back. There we go. They don't match. Oh, that's flickering even worse. Wow. Lamp, why? Okay, that's looking better. No, that's not looking any better. Why is it flickering so much? Oh, this is the worst. Wow. Apparently my camera does not like this lamp. Oh well. We'll get it fixed. Here, I'm gonna find it's gonna work. I'm gonna make it work, everybody. How's purple look? Ooh, purple's not flickering. There we go. You know, I did all of this work to turn off all of the flashing effects on my game so that people don't have to worry about watching all the flashing effects on the game. And then my lights are flashing. Jeez. That's a good lamp now. Good lamp. All right, let me answer some questions while we get this poll going. Garwar wants to know, when do we get a Lauren's face emote? I mean... Edlad, the D&D lamps look awesome on the shelves. Thank you, especially now that they are not flickering. I appreciate it. Tabletop Santa, any Game Hole Con presents for you all? Not that I know of. No physical cons for the moment, because a lot of the crew is in Canada and coming over the border is still difficult. And for those of us who are in the United States, a lot of us are still a little nervous about going to in-person conventions and things. I'm not saying it won't happen, but I at least personally am still holding off a little bit. But as far as I know, no in-person conventions, so no Game Hole Con. I know a lot of awesome people who are going to Game Hole Con, and if you are going, please stay safe and wear your mask and be vaccinated and do your best to stay as healthy as possible and have some fun, because I do miss going to conventions so much. So, let's see. Mestival, question: will there be a system in place that will kick players that don't do absolutely nothing? I'm assuming you mean that do absolutely nothing in Trials of Mount Tiamat. Maybe replacing them with a queue system that players can engage with. Just throwing out some ideas. I unfortunately don't know of anything that's going to be coming up. I know that there's been a lot of discussions, especially since the update to Trials dropped a little while ago, that there's been a lot of internal discussions. There's been a lot of us looking at a lot of the big threads that have been happening on Steam, on Reddit, in our Discord, discord.gg/idlechampions. Yeah, it's a new system, and we're trying to figure out all the best ways of going about everything. So I don't have anything to offer, but I do know the concern of people joining a trial and then not doing anything is there. We're trying to balance that out with the fact that sometimes real life gets in the way and you can't always log in every single day, and no one wants to be punished just because they have to go take care of real life stuff. So trying to find that balance is hard, but we are looking at it. Okay. The moneylender Mert has won the poll. And so I am going to pause in answering questions for just a minute. Go ahead and keep answering. I mean, if you can answer questions in chat, that's great. We've got a lot of awesome people in chat. Go ahead and ask your questions and answer some others. Maybe other people, especially some of those, hey, what's your favorite champion? Who should I use for this? Some of those questions, getting some good opinions are good, and our chat is awesome for that. But meanwhile, I've been instructed to do some Mert. So the first thing I try to do with Patron Challenges is just take a look at them all and see what's going on and kind of plan out in advance before I go rushing into something. So let's start with Mert. We'll go through all of the patrons and kind of keep an eye on any specific champions that they're asking for, because especially with me doing a trials and sometimes they overlap, and just good to look ahead. So we got undead, no healing champions, distractions, getting some gold, Arkan as our highest total damage dealer, and an Arkan, Terrell, and Makos in the formation with a lot of fiends. So we probably want to start in Descent into Avernus somewhere. Now, I got Makos here in my trials, so that's going to be a problem. That's going to be a little bit of a problem. Now, in 2 hours, we're going to switch over to another trial. So maybe for Mert, for at least right now, I'm not going to worry too much about doing this 1,000 areas with the 3 of them. We'll switch trials to the next day and see if Mako still makes sense in that formation. And if he does, then maybe I'll still hold off on that specific one. But Arkan, let's get you going in an Avernus. We'll go ahead and switch to a different party. Bye, Trials. Bye, Urkira. Hey. Yeah, it's probably no surprise. I've got a lot of Heroes of the Plains in my Trials of Mount Tiamat. All right, so we're going to come over here. I believe El Terrell's Last Stand tends to be a really good place for fiends. Yeah, we're gonna go there. We're just gonna load up on Arkan. Let's get a bunch of familiars out there. Sorry, Penelope. It's Arkan time. Okay. So, since we know we want to make him super powerful, I'm going to go bulked up. I'm actually not going to stick him in a tanking spot, because why not? Why not just have everything point towards Arkan? Why not fuel his ego? Let's see. Beyond that, without any healing champions, I mean, all right. All right, can we make a non-healing tanky... is this an Oops All Tanks formation we're about to build? Can we make an Oops All Tanks that doesn't have any healing? Let's see. Let's see what we can do. You're healing. You're going to be healing. Oh... I mean, we could put Wolfgar out there, but let's see. We'll do you. Do we want to have Toragar? No, we're trying to stack on Arkan, so I think this is going to be another Oops All Tanks formation here. Whoop, we can't use you. Oh. Yeah, you're tanking and support. Oh, why am I... Oh, we can definitely use a human. Let's get human out there. Let's stick human up front, just so that we can get the chance at double rewards. So whenever I can, I like Zorang to be up front to try to get the double quest items or count for double quest progress, especially for stuff like this. Let's see, who else can be... You're going to be DPS support. kind of want to stick Shandy there. Yeah, let's stick Shandy out there. Get stuff going as quickly as possible. You're healing. Oh, maybe a point would work. Yeah. Sure, Point. Get on out there, Point. Oh, Sentry. Actually, does Sentry do healing? No. Okay. I kind of want to stick a Spurt out there. I know this is supposed to kind of be Oops All Tanks, but let's stick you there. Ooh, probably doesn't matter too much. We're gonna do you. Let's stick a Spurt out there just for funsies. Yeah, we'll do that. And one more. Well, I could super duper make sure that Arkin is our prime candidate. And there we go. There's our super wonderful formation. I'm sure this is just prime formation. Everybody's going to look at this formation and go, what? But here's the thing. Like I've talked about before in some of these other, in some of the other episodes, we're not building formations that are optimal. We're not building formations that are perfect. We're building formations that are going to work to get a whole bunch of these Patron challenges done. And right now, I don't have any healing. I shouldn't have any healing champions. Shouldn't have anyone who's doing healing. Yeah, I got no healing champions. Arkin is very clearly gonna be our highest DPS. We'll go ahead and purchase something from Mert in a little bit. Like, we're gonna grind through a ton of these really fast. So not a pretty formation, but an effective one for what we're trying to do. So let's get all this set up. That all looks good. Do we want to 350? What do I gotta get him to? I only gotta get him to 250. And I only gotta do 250 here. So yeah, let's do 251. And we'll get some potions of speed going. There we go. First formation done. On the way. Pretty fast. Oh, not really Oops All Tanks, but there you go. All right, let's check in on chat. Now that we've gotten our first formation out of the way, Mars wants to know, what tea do you got today? Apricot sunrise from me. Ooh, I like that. So I knew you were gonna ask. In fact, I might have planned on you asking, and so I brought the actual box of tea. So this is from a company called Tea and Absinthe, and this is their Irish whiskey cream. No, it is not alcoholic. It is tea. But it's an Assam black tea, cocoa bits, and flavor. And so I have a nice cocoa-y Irish coffee tea mug without any of the actual alcohol. Oh, jeez. It is good. It is good stuff. Kiwi Mischief wants to know about the nerds. Do the different colors taste different? You know, the one or two of them have like a sour bent. But personally, I don't think they taste too different. If that's I think they're supposed to. I think they're supposed to be flavors, to be honest. Although, there's the ingredients are just colors. So I think it's just like a couple of them have a slightly different. I was gonna say it's like either sweet or there's a couple that just taste sour-ish to me. Yeah, I'm seeing in chat that some of these are supposed to be like the purple ones are grape and the red are cherry, says Snabager. I think that's what it's supposed to be, but to me they all taste like sugar. Crunchy, delicious. Kind of tastes like rock candy if you've ever had or made. I don't know about anybody in school, in elementary school, we used to make rock candy. It was supposed to teach you about chemistry and science, and it did, but also it was candy. Yeah, Urban Bohemians in chat. Nerds mostly taste the same, but the pink ones are the best. Oh, see, now I kind of want to try them all individually because it's been a while. So, there's a pink one. I can't remember which one is the one that always tastes, and I mean sour in the best way, like sour candies. I don't know what it is, but yeah, I love them, and I probably shouldn't eat as many as I do. Cassius335, question. As I embark on buying gold chests until I have all of the chest feats, it dawns on me that we have a gear collection section, but nothing similar for feats. Worth adding, maybe? Ooh, that's a good point. Let me make a note. Collection of feats. There, I've made notes. I've made all the notes. Yeah, that might be a little hard to do, but no harder than the gear. Yeah, I will definitely pass that along. That's an interesting thing to note. More question. JDog2773. When does Lauren get her own Nightbot command? So what would I put on the Nightbot command? I'm flattered. Especially, I would rather have a Nightbot command than an emote of my face. I think most people would agree with that. So I guess what would you put on the Nightbot command? Yeah, I can think about that. I mean, I'm here, so one of the good things about this right now is you don't necessarily have to worry about a Nightbot command. You can just be, hey Lauren, talk about yourself. What would you like to know? You can follow me on Twitter. There we go. I got the Twitter on there, so we can save a Nightbot command for something more important. Drizzen04 says the Nightbot command spams emotes of your face. Well, now we just no. Now you've convinced me not to have a Nightbot command. Now this is the bad idea. We're gonna go back to questions. Reaver01 says we have a stream today. Yes, welcome to Weekly Patronage. I am Lauren, your person of patronage who is taking care of Patron Challenges on a Monday. Yes, it is Canadian Thanksgiving and Indigenous Peoples Day, but I'm still here having fun doing Patron Challenges, and sad that the Dahani event has ended. And in fact, actually, I've got a couple of Dahani chests I need to open up. Some final ones. Maybe I'll get that final purple because, how do I? Yeah, I am one purple away from a full purple Dahani. Streamer luck, don't fail me now. Here we go. All right, well, that's what time gates are for. That's what time gates are for. I would love to know in chat how you all doing on, how did you do over the High Harvest Tide? Did you get yourself a totally geared up Dahani? Because, you know, Murder Burb needs all of the gear love. Oh, hey, Dr. B, welcome. Kiwi Mister says my Dahani is only green and blue. Hey, you got to start somewhere. If you've got at least full greens and blues on there, then you've got some decent gear. So that's good. Mess Duval says Dahani missed one purple. Torgar is full purple and 2 shinies. Ooh, nice. Yeah, so I'm in the same boat as you with my Dahani. I'm just missing the one, but I do have the 2 shinies, so that's good. Lawduck says just need one more purple and one last run fired off before noon. Ooh, nice. Nice. Let's see. Orion the Wise says 3 epic 2 blue on Dahani was lucky. Yeah, definitely. That's a good chunk. Nanbread Loaf says I had terrible luck. Full blue, but very few purples. At least full blue. So there you go. We'll all open up some time gates this weekend and help out the Dahani love. Oh yeah, sorry. Hey, it's Tiamat, everybody. We were talking about Trials of Tiamat. There's a Tiamat. All right. Canuck Monkey 13 says no shinies here, and maybe I should have put more into Torgar or Puent, who each have 3 of 6 epics. It's it's a little hard when, between trials and doing all of the new stuff that's come out and 3 champions that are available during an event and anything else that you might have going on. It's hard to pick. I certainly, I was missing out on some Torragar purples. So I was basically focused on Dahani and Torragar, and Puent didn't get a chance to do nearly as much. Reaver01 says fully epic with 1 upgraded to legendary. Ooh, gonna reroll that legendary though, and to get the 230th 30% for each Aarakocra. Oh, I am a fan of the Aarakocra love. Ah, yes, I love it. Science Guy 31415 full epic and just made it to paint layer 6. Ah, congrats! I don't even remember what paint layer I'm on. I did get the achievement. I don't want to switch her in the middle of all the Tiamat going on. All right, what other questions? Wyvern Win asks, does your D20 lamp have this small but visible seam in it? Yeah, it's a tiny seam though. Like, you have to look for it, and I'm assuming that's just how it came together, and it's not a rough seam, so I'm not too upset. Nan Bread Loaf, Calliope counts as a healer. Yeah, I believe Calliope, once again, I have a hard time getting to them. Also, for the moment, I can't even use Calliope because Calliope's in my trials. Calliope is fighting Tiamat in the other place. So I couldn't have used Calliope even if I wanted to. Canuck Monkey 13 says, I feel like Spurt wants to be a tank. He'd be happy to be included. I mean, that's true. You can kind of put Spurt anywhere. I feel like while this is not an optimal formation, that I've already got 3 kobolds in a trench coat up front. They're not really a tank. I'm just enjoying trying to get the double rewards from them. But also putting Spurt up there would be... he can sit back a little bit. It'll be okay. Maybe he'll survive for longer than 11 days. Edlad, question, what's the blue-green potion bottle in the top right buff bar? So I put on one of these potions of the Gem Hunters, which is increasing my gem drops. You can get these in a bunch of different ways. Sometimes they're given to you through, if you'd bought a pack and they've upgraded the pack, they would often drop those. They come in different packs that you can purchase. They were giveaways for some stuff. There's kind of a variety of ways that you can get these big giant potions. Let me come to my inventory. There's a couple different ones. So there's the potion of the... This one's the Gem Hunter, right? Yeah, so that's Potion of the Gem Hunter. I've also got the Gold Hunter and the Psychomorphic Energy, which this one increases your Modron buffs. So I've been putting a couple of these on, especially for the harder trials runs, because right now, I'll go ahead and show you, we're grinding away on a legendary. We're gonna do it. It's gonna happen. I don't think it's gonna happen before we hit day 4, because we're close. But like, we're on a legendary, so I figured it'd probably be good to get a little bit of extra buffing going on there. More questions. Let's see. Sir Bob's a lot. Why does Spurt's cooldown timer increase if he has better items? It's not that I want him to die, but it does do damage, and it buffs Strix if she is in the formation. In the formation 2, I don't know specifically, but that's going to be some of the balance types. Let me come over here to increase the damage, increase the effect. Oh, his attack damage increases the cooldown of his ultimate. He has better items. Well, so the better the item is, the more powerful this is going to be. I think we might be talking about increase in a different way. It's not increasing the amount of time, it's increasing the cooldown. It's not that I want him to die, but it does do damage. So yeah, I mean, if you're looking to keep Spurt in ghostly, spooky form, my suggestion is definitely stick a... Where are you hiding? Flame Lambs, you're dead. There, you're dead. Definitely just stick someone right on him, right on his ultimate, and just hang out there and be like, I want you to be activated as soon as possible. Also, I just now realized that I did put Baby Spurt on top of Spurt's ultimate. I have Spurtception. That makes me so happy. Oh, hey, and welcome to all the new people coming in from the game. Welcome to Weekly Patronage. We're just grinding away on a Mert. And actually, now that I think about it, now would be a great time to decide on the other patron that we're going to go after. So I have one more party that is available. I would like to know... Actually, before we start any polls, let's take a quick look. So Shandy is currently hanging out in this party. So this one might be a little hard to do with Vajra. Let's take a look at Strahd. We got Strix, Pulton, and Morgaine, which I can do. And Zariel. Zariel's going to be hard because Talon's... I believe both Talon and Makos are not available at the moment. Because there's Makos. Oh, I thought I had Talon in this formation. Okay. Makos is making this difficult for everybody. Okay, so Vajra and Strahd should both be patrons that we can go after next. So what I'd like to know, chat, let's get a poll going. Who should we go after next, Vajra or Strahd? Let's choose between those two. So, our wonderful moderator, Mars, Ryan, when you get a chance, go ahead and get that poll going, and that will decide for us what our final adventuring party is going to be, and we will charge forward. So go ahead and get that voting going. Well, meanwhile, Cassie's335 says maybe swap Baby Spurt and the winged cat, putting Baby Spurt in charge of killing Spurt. I don't know. I find that amusing. I think Spurt is the kind of person, the kind of kobold who would appreciate being able to decide his own fate, even if who is deciding that is the baby version of himself. Sure. All right, while you are all voting on which patron we're going to go for next, Urban Bohemian says, hi, Lauren, you're great. Aw, you're great, too. Aw, thank you. The Dr. B says, that's a pretty amazing hoodie you're wearing there, Lauren. Why, it is. I'm wearing my Take This hoodie. It's finally cold enough that it's a little easier to wear some of the longer sleeve stuff and some of my flannel. And I'm just saying, you know, if you want me to wear your shirt or your stuff, if you make it 3/4 sleeve or flannel, or if anyone knows about any 3/4 sleeve flannel shirts out there, yeah, 3/4 sleeve flannel would be my jam. But yes, this is Take This shirt with the shield on it right there, which I love and I'm happy to wear again. And the only thing I can't do is I can't wear this shirt when I've got the blue screen up for very obvious reasons. But yeah, I love this shirt. Go check out takethis.org and all of the wonderful work that they do. And I know a lot of our Idol Champions fans know about them already because we just had the Fenris fundraiser, which y'all did amazing. And we're really grateful for all of the money you helped donate to an amazing cause. So definitely go check them out. Okay. Breaker Fist. Can you explain how to get the Nerds Champion for a Canadian player? I will do my best. So the way this works, for those of you who want to know how to get the Nerds Champion, right there they are. You go and buy Nerds. The official thing says buy any qualifying Nerds candy product between 9/1/2001 and 3/31/22. So you got a little while. I do not believe you have to buy D&D Nerds. You just need to buy Nerds, which is helpful because there are some places, like Canada, that are unfortunately not getting the D&D Nerds. There's also some places that just don't have access to Nerds. So I believe if you can go to like Amazon and buy some nerds. But if you buy a box of nerds, a package of nerds, any nerds, buy nerds candy, and then you take your proof of purchase, your receipt, essentially, and you go to the website. Let's see. Do I have the website on here? I've forgotten the website offhand, but it's like D&D Nerds or something like that. Also looks like Strahd 1. Strahd 1. Yes. There we go. We got the nerds in there. So it's nerdscandypromotion.com. Thank you, Mars. So go to nerdscandypromotion.com. You'll fill out a form that will include uploading a picture of your receipt showing that you bought some nerds. And then you get a whole bunch of stuff. You get some images that you could use as like wallpaper desktops and cute things. You get one of several adventures, a PDF of the adventure that they have written that is specifically a nerds adventure. And you get a code that will unlock the Nerds Champion in the game. So that is the way that you do that right now. If you want nerds right now, that's how you can do it right now. Say you're not as interested in buying some candy in order to get access to the champions, or you don't have nerds in your area, and so it'd actually be difficult to get nerds, or you're willing to wait. After the promotional period is over, the Nerds Champion will become available in the gem shop. I don't know for how much. We haven't announced it yet, but you will have access to getting the nerds. You just have to be a little patient and wait for the promotional period to end. And then, nerds for everybody! Yay. They are kind of adorable. They are a lot of fun. So if you get them, then you can... Their ultimate is it shakes the little minecart, and then they all flip around, and it's adorable. They are adorable. So that is how you get nerds. And I mean candy. And I mean the champion. There we go. All right, we are going to pause in answering questions. Keep the questions coming. Ryan is doing an amazing job grabbing them. Meanwhile, let us go and confront Strahd. It is time to confront Strahd as he has won this poll. Here we go. Strahd. Oh, we must attack Strahd with Strix, Polton, and Morgaine. And we've undead and beasts and fiends and so many things that we want to kill. We are already killing so many fiends. Let us go after beasts. Just for funsies. Never thought I would say just for funsies in my bad Strahd accent. But here we are. So we'll do some beast intentions with Strahd. Let's come on over here. Strahdula, yes, Missy Duval. I am very cliche in where Strahd is this very cliche Transylvanian accent. I do not know why. It just is. So we want beast intentions. You. All right, and it was Strix, Polton, and Morgaine were the three we want to make sure are in the party. There's a Strix. There's a Polton. And there's a Morgaine. Okay. Chris, hang out for a second. Let's see what else we got going on. No support is just not going to happen right now because we have Strix, who is support. Damage. And I'm not going to pick you just yet because I haven't figured out a formation. We're going to do beasts. We're going to get gems. Let's see. 400 or higher. Bosses. Purchase a thing. Okay. So this is kind of where we are. Yeah. So all of our crew. Yeah, I guess. Well, I already made her in the smelly kind of support role. Everybody's kind of rolling support. Let's just put a formation together. Let's see. I mean, let's do some C-Team Waffle Crew stuff. Oh, we can't do Dinar. We can't do Omen. I'm gonna fail miserably at this. I'm not gonna be able to do the formation I wanted to. Definitely Strahd is the one that I have the least number of champions available. All right, Celise is going to be excellent for this. We're going to do non-adjacent. All right, you get back out there. Celise, come tank for us. Please, please, tank for us, Celise. This might be an Eliwick. This might be a fun one to have Eliwick on. This might be a hitch. Jim could, I mean, yeah. Well, I guess we're gonna Jim it up. Jim. Let's Alindra. Yeah, we'll do. Okay, all right. We're building a team here now. Let's you. And yeah, we'll leave you there. Okay. All right. This is looking good. Need one more. Oh, actually, now that I think about it, I didn't want that. I made a mistake with Alindra. I'm pretty sure, yeah, because I've got her in a place in where she's only going to be giving her buff to 2 of 3 people. So let's get the judgy eyes. Get the judgy eyes going. And now I just need... you know what? Well, no. I want to keep Jim towards the front. You know, I'll just stick Hitch in there. We'll stick Hitch. Hitch is always a good idea. No, we kind of want you on the edge. We want you towards the middle. Oh, Morgane. Adjacent champions, non-adjacent champions. We don't want behind. We probably want in front of her. Yeah, let's do champions in front of her. There we go. Oh. Keep the damage. Each champion adjacent. Creatures affected paid up front by 20. I haven't used Morgane in a little while, so I'm having to rethink about how she works. For each enemy attacking a champion within 2 slots, but we only have 1 up front. We only have 1 tank, so I don't think that's going to be effective. Increases the paid for every second that an enemy isn't killed. No, I think we want... How many are adjacent to her? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So... Yeah, let's do that. Okay, there we go. There is our suboptimal formation. I will, at this point, take suggestions from chat. Wait a second. Oh, yeah, because I get to do this. Yeah, so this, we're just, keep it simple. Keep it simple. I will take suggestions from chat for this completely inoptimal formation. But once again, we're not looking for a formation that is going to break through walls to the other side. Break on through. We're looking for a formation that has some specific champions in it for Strahd. We're looking for ones that are going to get a whole bunch of stuff done. And this will work. You can't spell suboptimal without optimal. That's correct, Joe Malo. Yep. This is going to work just fine. Let's go ahead and we'll save this formation. We'll get them enabled. We'll make sure we're getting Tyr's eyes in there. And then we wanted to get to over 400, so we're going to go to 401. Because I just like going the one past. It makes me happy. It also, when I do that, that's my own reminder when I'm looking at this that, oh, I was trying to get to level 400. That's why I do that. And there we go. There's our Strahd formation is done. Let's go ahead. And a bunch of these patrons have purchased 1 item from. So for me, because I am trying to build up my Modron core, I just come through every week and I'm like, purchase Modron. Purchase the Modron. purchase a Modron. And that's just the first thing that I buy. And I just make sure that every week I am buying that Modron chest. And then, do I have to open it for anybody? No, it's just purchase for this week. So that's good to see. And yeah, now I've got some Modron chest. Oh, there is, I don't know what happened in chat. I looked away for a moment and I'm seeing hearts and excuse me's. So, you also can't spell it without Tim. I mean, okay, you cannot spell suboptimal without a lot of words, but hey, there you go. I guess I should look back at the questions document to see what questions have come through, because I was too busy looking at what was going on with my formation, and the next thing I know, the chat is just blowing up with other things going on. Let's see. Rozu9801. Since all of my champions are green or better, should I still buy silver chests or gold? I think either is going to help, but I think it's probably a good idea to switch over to gold at this point, because you're trying to get that, get those purples, get those other tiers going on. You're not going to lose out by buying silvers, because you're going to be able to buy a lot more, and you're going to get some of the other stuff that you can get in silvers a little bit cheaper. But yeah, I think at this point, use your gems, buy some gold. I'm sure chat also had a lot of suggestions. Also for stuff like that, it might be good to find a little bit more information about like what specifically you're trying to do beyond, hey, all of my champions have green, what should I do? You can always come to our Discord, discord.gg/idlechampions, and say, hey, this is what I got. Should I start buying just gold? Should I get a little bit of a mixture? Jamick Unyielding. I unlocked Farida last week. Hey, congratulations. And I love her very much. So do we all. So say we all. Used my first legendary on her and got the Tiefling group buff, which seems amazing. Can't wait to pick up Heavy soon. Aw, nice. Yeah, there's a lot of really good Tieflings in this game. There's a solid collection of Tieflings. So definitely the Tiefling buff is a good one to have. Yeah. And also both Frida and Havilar are really, really good champions to have. So congratulations on that. Such good tea. All right, Nasembi, question. Which character interaction between two members of this next Idle Champions Presents are you the most excited about? That's an excellent question. All right, so for those of you who don't know, Idle Champions Presents got announced. The first party got announced. So the games start next week. So the first episode is Monday, October 18th at 4 o'clock. And the first party includes B. Dave Walters, Aaron M. Evans, Todd Kenrick, Mark Meir, Tanya DePass, and Jason Charles Miller. Solid crew. Really amazing people. Really amazing role players. Just going to be a fantastic time. To answer your specific question, what interaction between two members, so it's character interaction. See, that's going to be hard. Here's the thing. You've got Baloth and Avron, who are just going to be a pair of chaos people. Just the worst. I think I'm actually interested in the interaction between Celise and them, because I think everybody else in this party, to an extent, are kind of chaotic in a variety of ways, and not all good chaos. I do not believe they are all good characters, and so I am looking forward to Celise. Maybe it's less interaction and more reactions. I am looking forward to Celise's reactions. I feel bad that Celise has to be the responsible one. She might not be the only person. She might not be the only responsible. I'm not saying that some of these characters aren't responsible, but I think of the group, Celise in that grouping is probably the most responsible, the more we have a job to do, let us get this job done. Oh, yeah, Vaxum makes a good point, which is a pair of Chaos people. What about B-Dave as Freely? So we don't know whether Freely's going to show up. B-Dave is DMing, and historically Freely has shown up in Idle Champions Presents, but Freely is, at that point, a DM PC, and B-Dave's been pretty good about, here's Freely. I'm going to toss Freely over there. You know, Freely is now like your quest giver kind of thing. So I don't think we can count Freely in the same way, because Freely in this case is a DM PC. If you want to see Chaos Freely tomorrow during Heroes of the Plains, come watch that, because that's B-Dave able to play Freely as Freely. that's Dave able to play the free Freely. Yay. Anyway, so yeah, that's the thing I'm kind of looking forward to. I mean, maybe that's me looking forward to Tanya just rolling her eyes and having to deal with all of that, but I am, and I feel for her, but I'm excited about that interaction. I think that if there is anyone who can super intimidate both Avron and Baloth into actually getting on the program of what they're trying to do, it's Celise. Yeah. Ouchie Bug, question, how'd you get Baby Spurt? Oh, Baby Spurt was a charity familiar. I don't remember more than that. Can someone remind me what charity Spurt... Baby Spurt was a charity familiar, I just don't remember what charity Baby Spurt was for. But yes. Yeah, I'm trying to remember. I have all of the charity familiars. Back in the day, before I worked for the game, and actually even now I still buy the charity familiars. The charity familiars was often the only time I scrounged up the money to buy something in the game. And then the more I became slightly more financially stable, I would buy some other things. But yes, usually the charity familiars were the things that I got when I had the money. Nasembi says, I'm at the point where Freely casted his first turn undead, and it was so cute seeing Orkira's reaction. Yeah, she's not precious about her powers, and thinks that the more people who can do stuff like that, the better. And definitely because she is not a fan of undead, watching other people do turn undead is kind of fun, you know? There's definitely she doesn't quite understand how Freely is able to cast turn undead and not be a cleric. But, you know, it's Freely. And Orkira doesn't understand how character classes work. But yeah, she is definitely that character who is like, I am so glad that that you can do the things that I can do. The more people can do, you know, more things, the better. So she was super proud. She was super proud of Freely. Like in the end, a couple episodes earlier, Briv had created food and water for a whole bunch of people who were super hungry after how many months, years of trying to convince Briv that, like, create food and water is a thing. Is it tasty food? No. But hey, I can make all the food you want. So yeah, she was super proud of that. Aw. Dr. B says, take this flannel? Why have I never thought of that? You're welcome. Please take this idea with my blessing. All I ask one thing, is that you ping me when they go on sale so that I can buy one as soon as possible. That's all I ask. When the take this flannel goes on sale, I need to be first in line. Yes, I want it so much. Okay. I am so happy to have offered this idea unto the world. Kiwi Mischief says, when is the next charity pet coming out, and any spoilers on who it might be? You know me, I can't spoil what it's going to be. Of course, I've now kind of hinted that there is something coming up. Here's what I'm going to say. I am not going to say anything about what is or could be coming up in the future. That being said, Codename Entertainment and the stuff that we release tends to come out on a schedule, a cycle. We do the similar things year after year. Not the exact same thing, but, you know, we're on a schedule. So, you know, if you If you either know or take a look at things that we have done in the past, you might get a good idea for things we might do in the future. In general, though, there are definitely other charity familiars coming up. We are a company that likes being able to support charity, and this is a community that loves to support those charities that have been amazing in backing and supporting those charities, whether it's Lambert House or Take This or, any of the other charities that we have done. So thank you so much for all of that. And also, that you just end up with the most adorable familiars. Whoa, the baby snowy owl bear. Yeah, it's Grant, the baby blue dragon. Oh, I love all these. Okay, back to questions. Vulcan 25 question: are the gelatinous cube and the pixie on the corgi familiars going to be made available to people not on Steam at some time? Yes. Just like the Nerds promotion, and just like other things that we have done that have been an exclusive for Epic or for Steam, once that period is over, they will become available to everybody. So yes. Oh, I just happen to be looking at chat. Tabletop Santa asks, any chance for a mini painting show on the C&E channel? I am so glad you asked. On Fridays, from 12 to 2 p.m. Pacific, V, Muse, and I do a mini painting show called Paint and Slay. We're on episode 5. We are on episode 5. Now is an excellent time to join us because this Friday we are going to be painting the Beholder. Not only are we painting the Beholder, we're not painting just any Beholder. If you have played the Wild Beyond the Witchlight games or adventures that have been released in Idle Champions, you may remember a very special Beholder. You may remember a Beholder that is creepier than other Beholders. You may remember a Beholder that isn't clowning around. That's right, we're painting that Beholder. Come to our Discord, discord.gg/idlechampions. There is a Paint and Slay channel, and in that channel we list off every week the general supplies that you'll need if you would like to join us in painting along with what we are doing, and any other specific supplies we need for that creature. And there is not a lot that you need, and all of the stuff is very general and easy to get, either from your local game store or from Amazon. And there are plenty of substitutions. So if you can't find the specific paints and minis or the specific paintbrushes and everything that we have listed, just general stuff will work out really well. And I use the stuff that we talk about. So the Vallejo paints and the mini and the specific paintbrushes and all of that. What we recommend to you is what I use on stream. 100%. I don't use anything different. And V uses a variety of other things and offers a variety of other options. But that way you can basically join me as I learn from V how to paint these minis. So definitely join us, because it's going to be a lot of fun. And I'm super glad that you asked. And I feel like you might have been super smart and asked on purpose just so that I would talk about it. And if that is true, I thank you. And if not, I still thank you, because I got a chance to talk about my favorite Friday show. It's not, I shouldn't say my favorite Friday show, because somewhere Sean and Lee are going to be very upset at me. Hey, welcome to all the new people who are coming in from the game. We are halfway through Weekly Patronage, which is a show and where I do Patron Challenges, and we sit and chat, and I eat nerds, and we talk about Paint and Slay, and I answer as many questions about the game as I can. I just saw my captions, Paint and Slay, like a person. That's going to be the name of my next character now. Patron Slay. Yeah. Yep, that's the name of my next character. Right there. Oh, wow. Okay. Anyway, back to the questions. Okay. Werewolf Kai question: how'd you do the quick load of familiars into the field like that? Oh, good question. So, if you are on the PC, if you're playing either on Epic or Steam or somewhere like that, if you press F, you can just click on any of the places that a little white box is showing, and it will, if you have a familiar available, automatically place one of your available familiars there. So I can get rid of these familiars, and you can see a little white box appears, and I just go click, 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 and there we go. And so you can do that with the 6 familiars on the field. You can stick 1 or multiple familiars onto the ultimate bar, and they'll all fly around and set off the random ultimates. You can stick familiars on specific ultimates, so they'll just sit there and go this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, over and over and over again. And my favorite thing to do is to put them on the champions, so that they auto-level your champions, so that you can do what I like to do with this game, which is to get everything set up and then look and do something else. I'm the person who I do a lot of let it do the work for me and walk away, because I'm usually multitasking while I'm playing this game. I just have the game running all day, and I'm doing other things for work. I'm on a stream, and sometimes I'm on a stream where I'm not actually playing the game for the stream. So yeah, the familiars are the best, and the more you can get the familiars doing, the more you can automate a lot of those processes and do a lot more of the, just relax, watch it happen. All right. Back to questions. Oh, actually, before we go to questions, Tabletop Santa did clarify. I did ask on purpose. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. V and I are good friends. Aw, I have a painting show on the Origins Game Fair channel, Primetime Painting. I think V has talked about that, so I wanted to ensure that there was some hype for your show. Oh, thank you. Yeah, and hype for your show, definitely. We are part. This channel is part of a wider TTRPG community, and while we appreciate all of the people who come and watch these shows, we also encourage you to go out and go check out other D&D games and Idle Champions streams and mini painting streams and lore streams, because, there's a lot of awesome people out there. That's why some of the events that we advertise in the game, when you get that little alert in the bottom left-hand corner, a lot of them are for C&E channel stuff, but a lot of them are for third-party funness, so that you can go out and appreciate some of the amazing stuff that's out there. There's certainly a lot. It can be overwhelming sometimes. It can be hard to decide what to watch, because often there are 3 or 4 or 5 or 10 different streams going on at once that all are filled with awesome people. But that is why videos on demand and podcasts are amazing. Oh, okay. I just saw in chat. I'm skipping ahead. Thank you to Mars once again for grabbing all these questions that I will get to. I do promise to get to them, but I did notice the lurking writer say, Lauren, you should mention Latia's reaction to learning about the familiars. So yes, Latia Jakis, who is the content creator behind Dahani, did a unlocking stream. It was an unlocking stream, but she'd already unlocked Dahani. She was basically finishing out one of the events with Dahani, and she had said that she was okay with chat giving her advice and suggestions. And so we were telling her about familiars and how to quick place them places and some of the places, because she was using them, but she hadn't really used them to level up a champion yet. Go follow her on Twitter, because she's wonderful and you should. And she talks about amazing things and a variety of wonderful TTRPG stuff and life. And then you'll get to see her hula hoop and do darts and guitar, as well as talk about Dahani. But she had her reaction to finding out about using the familiars to level up your champions, to auto level them, is amazing and brings me joy. And you should definitely go watch that Twitch clip. Absolutely. Go follow her on Twitter, and you'll be able to find that clip incredibly easy. Back to questions from chat. Science Guy 31415. Big clock in Strahd's house go tick, 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 tick. Strahd stares at clock and says, "We have ways of making you talk." Yep, I just read that off in Strahd voice for you. You're welcome. Swizamane. I know this is the wrong stream for this. It's not the wrong stream. We're here to talk about, hey, I've been talking about nerds. I've been talking about candy I've been talking about Paint and Slay. So while the focus of this is on patrons, we are open to a lot of different subjects. I appreciate you being, I appreciate you recognizing that this is not the main goal of this stream, but you know what? If I'm going to talk about Paint and Slay, I think we're open to other topics. And your topic is still at least Idle Champions related, so thank you. How to access Modron stuff. Yes. Unlocking Modron stuff. The best way to start is you need to do the variant called Split the Party, which is not an easy one to do and has some very specific requirements. And it is at this point that I would recommend that you go check out specifically Garwar's guide. Garwar has an amazing guide for Split the Party. But if you go to either the subreddit or come to our Discord, there are some really good guides on how to go about unlocking not just the Modron stuff, but multi-party mode in general, which is really, really useful for days like this when you are trying to continue to be effective in the Trials of Mount Tiamat while you are also doing 2 other patron challenges. Or if you haven't unlocked Trials yet, just getting through a bunch of patron challenges. But Split the Party is your first major goal in getting multi-party and getting Modron cores. So look for Garwar's guide for Split the Party. And I see For the Glory in chat saying, I finally did Split the Party yesterday. Hey, congratulations. It is not easy. I had Garwar's help and it was a little easier because I had Garwar's help. But yes, go definitely look at how to unlock multi-party mode and Modron cores. And yes, that's the best way to go about it. And don't feel bad about asking those kinds of questions here. I have 2 hours to hang out and eat nerds. There's no wrong questions. There is only questions that are technically not about patrons, and that's okay. Let's see. R. Green Paradox asks, will we see the return of chat's Agent of Chaos, Bubbles? I don't know. That's kind of up to B-Dave. I do know for a fact that there are going to be the votes that are happening every day in the game that will help affect the game. If you haven't seen Idle Champions Presents yet, you'll notice starting tomorrow, every single day, there'll be one of the banners at the top of the screen that you'll often see when there's stuff going on. And when you click on that, it will bring you to a screen and where it's going to give you some information about the show. And most specifically, every single day, there's going to be a vote that you can participate in. You'll automatically get 1 vote that you can put in one of 2 options. And the winner of that vote, it will not only affect the D&D game that happens on Monday nights, but it will give whoever wins, all the people in the game, in Idle Champions, will get something. And I can tell you right now, we're being better this time about it being obvious what you're going to get for your votes. So you will be able to make a much more informed decision. And some of them will be super easy. In fact, we actually talked about some of, and I say easy like very clear, not like an easy choice, but a very clear choice. For example, some of them will literally just be lucky choice. Which champion should gain a luck die, which lets the player in the D&D game be able to roll an extra d6. And what you'll get will be a chance for some cool thing in your game. There's going to be a surprise find. Which champion should find some additional gear? And depending on which champion wins, you'll get some additional gear for your champion. So keep an eye every single day. Vote for who you believe should get the thing. Some of them are going to be very much, let's affect the game in a really wild and ridiculous way. And then, yeah, you'll be able to not only affect the game and then watch the game on Mondays and see how your votes have affected the game, but you'll actually get stuff in Idle Champions for you and your champions. So it's kind of a win-win. Let me put in, there was a blog post that came out on Friday that I can put into chat. Blog post. For those of you who are listening to the VOD who cannot see the Twitch chat, go to codenameentertainment.com and check out our blogs. There was a blog that went up this past Friday, which would have been the 8th of October, that details a lot of information about the voting, about the first party that's going to be participating, about a lot of things. So definitely go check that out. And I believe that blog will be updated as more and more information is released because, surprise? Not really a surprise. We haven't announced everything yet. There's still a lot more to come. So yeah, keep an eye on that. Back to questions. Sorry, I got distracted by chat because I saw people talking about tea. Yes, tea. Jamek Unyielding question. May I suggest a familiar in collaboration with Desert Bus for Hope? I'm sure Idle Champions writer Jacob Burgess would be happy to put you in touch. I am a huge fan of Desert Bus for Hope. And in fact, one of C&E's other games historically has done stuff with Desert Bus. I love watching the Loading Ready Run crew. I've been a fan of theirs for quite a while. Dice Friends continues to be one of my favorite D&D games. Watch and Play is still one of my favorite live streams that I never am able to catch live. I pretty much always catch on the VOD late at night during when I'm like curled up in the sumo and I'm watching Watch and Play and I'm just snickering. I just was catching up with them doing, what was it, the tomato game, that Russian tomato game that's just weird. Oh, it's a fun game. But yes, I have been a huge fan of Loading Ready Run for many, 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 many years. And I think doing something with Loading Ready Run would be absolutely fantastic. So I hope that comes true. If it does, we will definitely announce about it. Yep. I'm seeing people in chat talk about Watch and Play. I was so sad when they kind of went on hiatus because it was hard to do Watch and Play over the Panini, but they've been back recently and I've been super happy. Watch and Play is one of those streams in where at least 2 or 3 times a stream I end up crying laughing. It's super funny. Just between the ridiculous stuff that happens in those broken games and something that Graham will just say off the top of his head. It's so good. All right. Honda Hero 21 question for He-Man's carefully balanced skill. When you get multiple drops from killing a foe, do you get gold and thus favor for those extra drops, or do you just have to kill less foes per area? Ooh, well, let's take a look. He-Man's carefully balanced. Let's go. Where did I put He-Man? He-Man. Where did I put Human? Yeah, He-Man, Humans. Sorry, I've been talking about the Masters of the Universe apparently, but we need to be talking about 3 kobolds in a trench coat. All right. So his carefully balanced. Let's go take a look. Increase the effect of. So in this case, it's Zerang because I got Zerang up front. His teamwork ability by a certain percentage for each champion adjacent to the kobolds. Yeah, I think. You get multiple drops from killing a foe. Do you get gold and thus favor for those extra drops, or do you just have to kill less foes per area? I believe it's you have to kill fewer foes. You get multiple drops from killing a foe. Enemies have a chance to drop double quest items or count for double quest progress. So yes, it's quest items in progress specifically. So I don't think it's a gold favor thing. I think it's specific to so like if you kill one guy, it may just count as 2 guys, which will help advance through the challenge quicker. It's that kind of thing. I hope that answered your question. JDog2773. Will you invite Will Friedle to guest appear on Peyton Slay? I mean, That would be amazing. What was the name of his painting show that he had? I loved that show. He did like the opposite of Paint and Slay. So Paint and Slay is me as I am new to painting and I'm learning from V, who's the veteran, but we're both on at the same time. But Will Friedle he was the newbie and ran the show, and then he would bring on like Matt Mercer and people, and they would instruct him in a specific mini, but that person would rotate. Garwar, thank you. Mini Primetime. Thank you. That was a fun show. That was a weird time also, because that was when Critical Role was like, some of Critical Role was still on some channels, and they had that different streaming service they were trying to set up. But there was a lot of weirdness about where you could find out stuff. And so I think that probably made it hard for people to find that stream. Because they weren't on the Critical Role channel. I don't know if they've been moved somewhere. Yeah, well, so Evo Me's, it was Geek and Sundry back in the day, but then do you remember for a while Geek and Sundry or Critical Role or some other people had that other streaming service? I'm trying to remember. Alpha, thank you. Thank you, chat. Yes. Thank you, everybody in chat. It was Alpha that they were streaming on, and you could stream there, and yes. And I want to say Will Friedle's show was actually on Alpha, and you couldn't find it natively on like Twitch or other places because it was either a subscription service or it was a different type of thing that they were playing around with, because, you know, everybody's trying to figure out the best way to both make a living being a streamer as well as, you know, be good to the audience. And it's hard. It's super hard. But yes, it was... that's true. Yeah, Garwar, they had the different overlays for Critical Role that would, like... They were animated overlays that would, like, flash if the character was bloodied and do all sorts of things. They did some really interesting things. Yeah. Anyway, if you can find that show, Mini Primetime, it was a fun show. It was really good. And I think Will Friedle is just endearing and lovely and self-deprecating in a very wonderful way. So yes. Anyway, back to other questions. Cassie is 335. Any chance of the brown beholder from the back of the item cards as a familiar shuffler, perhaps? I don't know. I can definitely pass that along, but I mean, we've already got a bunch of beholders in and amongst. I mean, we got Iris as a familiar. There's the Gazer, who, not really a beholder, but, you know, beholder. There's Fluffy. Oh wait, I think Fluffy's on. Yeah, we've got Fluffy. So there's already a couple of beholders. I'm not saying more beholders can't come. I mean, we have just as many flumps. I'm still waiting for more flumps so I can have an entire squad on the screen of flumps. Because that's me. Also, yes, happy birthday, Garwar. I'm sorry I couldn't hang out for your entire stream yesterday, but it was a lovely stream and it looked like you had some really nice cake. But yes, I can definitely pass it along. I don't know if there's more beholders coming. There might be. We're kind of fans of theirs, but we do have quite a few already. Baron Ugly, I just unlocked Strahd. Congratulations on unlocking the Master of Barovia. And I have no one in slots 3 and 12. Who should I unlock first? Artemides or Melf? Ooh. That's a good question. Both of them are going to be really effective. I think take a look at who else you have unlocked that can work in a Strahd formation. And if you don't have someone else who's a really good DPS, grab Artemides. Artie is going to be an excellent DPS. And you're pretty limited with Strahd anyway, so going for Artemides is going to be a good idea. If you have a couple of other champions that are going to be some primary DPS for your Strahd Patron Challenges, Melf is really good. Melf is really solid and offers some really good options. So you're not really going to go wrong, and I would say, obviously, in the long run, get both. But if you don't have a good DPS right now, go for Artemis. That is my opinion. I'm sure chat had some other opinions. But yes, I'd say go for Artemis. Or go for Artemis if you don't currently have a good DPS. If you do have a good DPS, go for Melf. Marietta Gecko, what zone was it you needed to reach to unlock Rhea? Let me see. That I don't have on hand. Does anybody remember the specific... I'm assuming you're talking about getting Rhea as an evergreen. 625. Thank you. Thank you to chat. This is the awesome thing about having the chat right there, is especially the chat that is super knowledgeable like all of y'all, because I don't know all of the stuff going on in the game, and when I don't, it's just easier to be like, chat, help me, chat. You're my only hope. And Garwar. I mean, that's the real answer, is when I don't have chat, I just go looking for Garwar. Okay. Waji question. What is your favorite way to farm up favor? I'm walled out at E22. So frustrating. Yeah, hitting a wall can be bad. I know a lot of people who have specific tactics for farming favor. Like, they will literally go out and be like, I'm going to grind on this specific area or do this specific thing to get favor. And certainly if you want to focus on getting more favor for a specific campaign, there are ways to do that. I would definitely check the Discord and check the Reddit. I know I said that a lot, but hey, it has a lot of good information. Personally, I don't do specifically favor farming because there's so many other things to do in the game. So if I need more favor for, say, Witchlight just came out, and I don't have a lot of favor in Witchlight because it just came out. Let's go to our blessings. So I haven't been able to unlock a lot of the blessings in Witchlight because I haven't been able to play a lot of it because it just came out. And I want to earn more favor in Witchlight. I look at some of the other stuff I want to do and I double up. And so maybe when I, later on this week, maybe, later on today or tomorrow, after I've finished up some of these patron variants, maybe I will specifically go do some other things in Witchlight that I want to do. Maybe I will do patron variants there. Maybe I will try to finish some of the variants that I haven't finished. Maybe I will go do a formation that includes Zorbu or Dahani or any of the characters that need to do lots of kills in order to help level them up. Black Viper, things like that. And I'll do something like that. And so I'm not necessarily focusing on just favor. Because that can feel, at least to me, literally like a grind. Like, I'm just grinding away. But if I'm doing something else at the time that I know I can at least complete, that has an end point, then it feels pretty good to me. Hey, I'm going to go stick a team over in Witchlight, and I'm going to stick Dahani in there so that I can level up her paint skills, so that I can get her to a higher level on her paint skills. And I'm going to get both favor for a campaign, and I'm going to be able to unlock some stuff for Dahani. Then, that is super helpful. So that's my suggestion. But if you're looking for... if you're totally into I'm okay with just sitting and having one of my teams grinding away somewhere, earning as much favor as possible, definitely come either to the Discord or check out the Reddit. There's a couple of really good formation strategy, favor farming threads that you can find. YG also asks, Azaka does better than Jarlaxle? In certain circumstances, yeah. Root Beer for 888 question, how much money have you spent on the game? That is an excellent question that I don't know if I know the answer for. I'm gonna guess probably a couple $100 over all of the years that I've played, simply because of the fact that I know that I've bought all of the charity familiars. And once again, I've been playing this game since it came out, long before I worked for the company. So, how many charity familiars have come out? So yeah, I would say a couple hundred. But I don't see that as a lot of money over the course of however many years I've been playing this game. And I'm also used to dropping $40 to $60 on an Xbox game in order to play that for a couple of months or maybe a year. So, you know, probably a couple of hundred. I could look it up, but it would be, it'd be hard to parse that over so many years. The honest answer is that was one of the reasons that I really got into this game, not just because it was fun and not just because it was D&D, but because you can go ahead and play and be successful and do all of the content in the game without spending any money. And once again, I am speaking as someone who has been a fan of this game for years before I became an employee. That was always incredibly appealing to me, that I always felt like I could put in the time and unlock everything in the game, and that it wasn't an exorbitant amount of time, especially since I am the person who sets up a formation and walks away. So, I kind of answered your question, but I'm not sure if I can give you a specific. Nar asks, pancakes or waffles? I mean, is Lee in chat? Quick, chat. Is Lee in chat? You tell me if the person who makes the pancakes on Fridays was in chat, right? Because if they're in chat, I'm gonna say pancakes. My name is Lee and I'm in chat, says Vampire337. Cheers to you. The honest answer is I like both. I have a slightly more bit of love for pancakes simply because of Griddle Champions, because pancake art is amazing. You can do waffle art, but it's not the same. It's not. You can do it, but it's just not exactly the same, so I'm gonna say pancakes. But that is 100% just because of Griddle Champions on Fridays and Lee and Sean and how amazing they are. But I do like both. I actually have some really good keto waffles in my fridge, or my freezer right now. They're blueberry keto waffles, so. Yeah, Kiwi Mischief says, as long as there's maple syrup, Lauren would be happy. Honest, yes. Listen, I have the most expensive maple syrup ever of all time. I have this tiny little bottle. It's from a place here in the Pacific Northwest called it's a bourbon distillers that does whiskey that's called Woodinville, and they make this amazing whiskey line. But more importantly, they make barrel-aged bourbon style maple syrup. And it's this tiny little bottle. It's only about this big. And it's super expensive. It was like $12. But it is delicious. It is the most delicious maple syrup ever of all time. And yeah, it's amazing. So yes, whatever I can put that maple syrup on is currently my favorite thing. All right, Vaxum is asking me to stop. I will stop. But yes, there you go. Lucy LRA, do you know if ICP will have captions? I don't know yet if they're going to have live captions. I know that is something that they are working on. It's a little harder to get the captions like what I got down there because there are so many more people on screen. I know we will definitely have the captions on our YouTube videos, which doesn't help with live, of course, but I know that's something that's being worked on. JDog2773, question, have you plugged the sketching hour yet? Yes, weekly patronage, the show where I plug all the other shows that I am on. But hey, it is Hey, come watch us do Sketching Hour on Wednesdays with awesome art. Yay. Henry Lowenwin says, PSA, Google Chrome. Yes, Google Chrome. Caption any stream for you. Settings, advanced accessibility, live captions. Absolutely. I know not everybody has Google Chrome or wants to use Google Chrome or is on a device that can use it, depending on what mobile device you are on. But yes, I have used the Google Chrome captions, and I'm rather impressed. I mean, that's what those captions are, is I'm using the Google Meets in order to use their captions. So their captions are pretty good. The Lurking Writer question: will there be repeat guests on Bardic Inspiration? If so, would you like to return to have a new song for Orkira or your other characters, such as your new Kobold Baker? I don't know. I wouldn't want to have a new song for Orkira because I feel super greedy. Like, not every champion in this game has a song from Bardic Inspiration. Not every monster does, and I am super lucky to have a song by Jason Charles Miller for Orkira. So I highly, highly doubt Orkira would ever get a second song. Mostly because it's just not fair. There's so many other champions that don't have songs yet that deserve songs. There's new characters coming out every couple of weeks. As for if I end up with another character, it depends. Okay, so the truthful answer is I would love that, absolutely. If my Kobold Baker ends up in a stream and ends up where those characters are looking at being brought into the game, then absolutely, I would love that. But once again, I've already been blessed by having a character of mine show up on Bardic Inspiration, and I would feel really guilty if I had 2 songs and there were champions out there who didn't have one yet. So yeah, that's the honest answer is yes, I would love that, but I would also feel super guilty, and so other champions deserve. I've been blessedly lucky with Orkira and all of the stuff that she has gotten, and I've been able to enjoy because of her. But I don't think it would be right for her to have more than one song. So I also appreciate that you would even want that, but that's okay. There's new songs coming out all the time. Wonder what's going on for tomorrow. I don't know if they've announced tomorrow's yet. I'm excited. Tabarja asks, what are loot levels on the patron screen? Loot levels. So some patrons, in order to unlock them, require loot levels. For example, let me look. Mert, the first patron that you can unlock in this game, you must have at least 2,000 total loot levels. This is not average item level, but the total summation of all item levels for all champions. That basically just means the total amount of gear levels you have. So looking over all of your champions and the gear that they have and taking a look at, see how it says level 134 for the smoke powder tax? So that's the gear level for the specific piece of gear. Add up all of the levels of all of the gear for all of your champions. And that is your loot level, which is, it's an accurate way of describing it, even if it is not necessarily a term that we use a lot. And so if you, over all of the champions that you have and all of the loot that you have, if the total for everything equals 2,000 or more, that's how you get that specific requirement for Mert. Let's see. I don't think there's any other loot level requirements for any of the other patrons. They have things like specific amount of champions that are unlocked, or you have to have reached certain milestones in, for example, Vajra, you have to have completed 15 base adventures in Waterdeep Dragon Heist, things like that. But for Mert wants to know you've got a specific amount of power, and that's how you get it. So If you haven't reached that requirement yet, my suggestion is just keep doing what you're doing. Keep playing the game. Keep unlocking chests. Buy a whole bunch more chests with gems and increase that loot level. It'll happen pretty quick. It's one of those things that just kind of automatically happens. So yeah, that's my suggestion. And especially since it includes evergreen champions and the standard 12 that you start out with, every single time you open up a chest, your loot level is going to go up. So if you're trying to unlock Mert and you haven't reached the loot levels yet, focus on the other things. Focus on at least having 20 champions unlocked, getting the 3 time gate pieces, having the silver chests. Focus on those requirements, and chances are pretty good by the time you've reached those other requirements, you'll have the loot levels you need. Nan Bread Loaf says, favorite Canadian fact. Ooh, it's Canadian fact time. There's a black market for maple syrup, and we occasionally have maple syrup heists. I've heard the stories and the history of some of the things that happen in the history of maple syrup in Canada. Oh yes, I have heard. I feel like one of these days on Griddle Champions, that should be like in between them doing questions from the chat and asking questions of Lee about his amazing drawing skills with pancake batter. We should just read off news reports about great Canadian maple syrup heists. Yes, Law Ducks, there is even a maple syrup reserve. Yes, you think this is all a Canadian lie. You think this is like, oh, like when they make up things about Mounties. No. Oh, no, it's real. It's super real. Oh, Canuck Monkey, speaking of our friends in Canada, says, gotta run and pick up groceries. Have a good one. Enjoy. Many as one asks about blacksmithing contracts. When's the best time to use them? Full rare gear on a champ. Ooh, blacksmithing contracts. So, if you're talking about these guys, my suggestion is use them. First off, don't use them on your regular champs. Don't use them on your evergreens, because you're going to be constantly unlocking loot in just regular chests for them. So only use your blacksmithing on event champions. As far as when is a good time to use, there's a lot of people who are going to have their own opinions on that, and none of them are wrong. All of them are right. I end up half forgetting to use them, and so they build up over time, and half saving them for specific things. So like if I'm, for example, we're about to switch over our Trials of Mount Tiamat day for the next day, and we're getting into some really hard stuff. And if I'm struggling in meeting that requirement, if I'm struggling in being able to give a really strong DPS push, because whatever the actual requirements and the restrictions on that Trials day is hitting me hard, I'll look at dropping a couple blacksmithing contracts on some of the champions that are in that formation. Maybe a little bit of a push towards, getting the loot up for my DPS champion or for my main tank or my main buffer or whoever is going to be just enough to be able to push past whatever issue I'm having. So that's me. I tend to hold on to them until I've hit a wall, whether it's literally my wall or a wall of like, oh, I just need to push a little bit further or go a little bit farther. And so I'll go ahead and take a look. So yeah, these, I've already used a whole bunch, which is why I don't have very many. But that's probably what I'll do with these 5. Once my trials day ends in 53 minutes, I'll see what the requirements are for day 4. Especially if we still have to get through a bunch of day 4 in order to defeat Tiamat, and I'm getting nervous, I'll drop those blacksmithing contracts on my main tank in the formation. So I hope that helped, but definitely also ask in chat. Ask in the Discord. And yes, Ralucus, blacksmithing contracts can unlock Merc quicker? Absolutely. Blacksmithing contracts will increase your loot levels, which can unlock mert more quickly. All I suggest is don't use your blacksmithing contracts on your core champions. Use them on event champions, because your core champions, as I said, are going to get loot from regular chests throughout the entire life of the game. They're going to get their loot levels increased no matter what you do. Use them on your event champions to help spread the loot love. Sorry, I reached that point. Of I've been talking for an hour and 42 minutes. And I needed some more tea. I was getting our Kira voice for a second. All right. Arkanar asks, how do you become eligible for these events like the Tiamat stuff? Oh, good question. Tiamat isn't an event as much as a new game mode, a new game campaign, kind of the same way the Wild Beyond the Witchlight has become. It's there all the time. Once you unlock it and have access to it, it's not going to go away. Unlike our events that happen, like the High Harvest Tide event that we just went through, which is only available for a week and a half. So Trials becomes available when you complete a bunch of different requirements, and the biggest one is you must have completed the the Descent into Avernus campaign. There's a couple of other requirements in there, but once you complete Descent into Avernus, it should unlock, because Trials is a trial. Not to be that pedantic about it, but it is. So basically, we require you to be to a certain level in the game in order to make sure that you're going to be successful, at least in the first lower levels of the Trials of Mount Tiamat. So by forcing you to have completed Descent into Avernus, that's a pretty good benchmark. You've completed Descent into Avernus, you've finished that campaign. You have to be at a certain power level at that point. You've had to have earned enough favor and unlocked enough champions and unlocked enough everything that we are confident that you could then go into Trials of Mount Tiamat and be successful at least in your first couple of runs. In the earlier runs, and like the level 1 runs and stuff. So that's the main thing. If you're curious, if you go to the main screen, if you go to the world map and you click on Trials, I believe it says in there what you have to do. We can also, before you can take part in the Trials of Mount Tiamat, the How to Play FAQ is also available from the main campaign screen. You must have battled Tiamat. Here, wait, let me full-on VO mode this. Before you can take part in the Trials of Mount Tiamat, you must have battled Tiamat at the end of Descent into Avernus. I failed already. At the end of the Descent into Avernus campaign, and then completed the introductory adventure by clicking on the Trials of Mount Tiamat campaign button on the campaign map. Once that is done, a new dialogue will appear in the game, which will let you create and join active Trials of Mount Tiamat campaigns. I'll read that again, except I'll read that a little more seriously. Let me give you more serious reading on that. To unlock the Trials of Mount... No, I won't. But yeah, you should be able to read that FAQ through the main campaign map. We also have a blog about it. If you come to codenameentertainment.com and go look for the Trials of Mount Tiamat blog, we also have a bunch of information there that can help you out. Back to questions. Cruciferius Kale, why is your mug so small? Because my head is so big. I don't know. No, this is just one of my favorite mugs. I'm assuming you're being a little jokey about the size of my mug. It is a giant mug. I am a fan of massive mugs of tea. This mug makes me happy. I have a couple of glasses that I really love that I would use more often. I have these, they're basically steins. I have these really large yawning portal glasses that I love, except they're clear, which is great. Except I get very self-conscious drinking from those glasses on stream because you can see through the glass to my lips, and no one wants that. So Non-clear glasses. Yay. KB Martinson. I don't see this multi-headed dragon in-game. Is there some higher level stuff? Yes. The Trials of Mount Tiamat. You probably asked that before I went into my voiceover mode, but that's what this whole thing is. Trials of Mount Tiamat. You won't see these buttons appear in your game until you have unlocked the trials, because we felt like that would be weird to have some buttons up there that you could click on that don't do anything. But yes, once you have reached a certain level in the game, it's just like D&D. No one expects you to go fight Tiamat when you're level 4. And so nobody expects you to go fight Tiamat in Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms when you've just started playing. But once you are powerful enough, once you are daring and brave enough, once your champions are geared up enough, then you're ready. Then you're ready to fight the mother of all chromatic dragons. Back to questions. Arankar, how do I know if a champion is an event champion? Good question. It's actually a little easier to just know if that champion is a core champion or not. So the 12 champions you start off with in the game that you don't have to get through an actual event or some other way, those are your core champions. There's a few champions who are considered evergreen champions that you unlock through campaigns that are not event champions. Everybody else is an event champion. And those champions versus event champions because when you open up silver and gold chests, you can get gear for them. So Brunner here is one of the main champions in the game. They are a core champion, not an event champion. So one of the other ways you can tell in the game if they are a champion that you can unlock using a time gate, because time gates only open up previous events, and that's how you unlock previously available champions or help gear them up. There's also just awesome lists out there on the Reddit and on Discord and Steam forums and everything. So if you're looking for a big giant list of champions and how you can get them and where you can find out more information, that'd be the best. And yeah, YG does mention all the first champions in each slot are the core champions. So for example, I have Brunner here, but like Celeste and Nayeli, so the top left one, Jarlaxle, Calliope, who's currently fighting Tiamat, Ashara, Minsk, Delina, Makos, Tyrell, Jamila, and of course, Arkan. Arkan. So cruel. All right, we've got a couple minutes left. Not much time, but I have a few minutes before then we are going to be moving on to a... speaking of Bardic Inspiration, we're going to be doing a replay of one of the most recent Bardic Inspiration episodes. So you should definitely stick around for some awesome Bardic Inspiration. I like how people are now talking about the way that we pronounce things in, especially things like Brunor. Listen, I'm the DM right now, and how I say it is how it should be pronounced. That's what I'm sticking with. Also, I tend to just ask around a lot. But let me see if I can answer a few more quick questions before we move on to the rebroadcast of Bardic Inspiration. And actually, let me take a moment and look up the schedule for this week of all of the other shows that we got going on, because I know some are still on hiatus. That's not it. Where have been my schedule? Here we go. All right. So yes, we've got a rebroadcast of Bardic Inspiration coming up right after this show. Tomorrow, there is a rebroadcast of Garwar's Guide in the morning. Usually we would have Champions of Psychology, but they are on break for one more week. They will be back October 19th. There's a new episode of Bardic Inspiration happening tomorrow at 1 o'clock. I don't think they've announced who the guest is, or if there is a guest, or what the topic for the show is just yet. So stay tuned on our socials. Wednesday, Champions of Lore is at 11 o'clock, and their topic is bards. I should have worn my bard shirt. Then we've got Mars Guiding Hand from 1 till 3, and the Sketching Hour from 3 till 4. And then usually we all go raid the C Team and go have fun watching the C Team. Thursday is Q&A Day! Or that's what I'm calling it, because we've got the Reddit Q&A in the morning, and then at 11 is the community Q&A with Sean and I. And then there's Idle Insights from 1 to 2. We haven't announced who the guest is for Idle Insights, but you'll be able to ask some amazing questions of that guest with Todd Kenrick, who always does a fantastic job. And Developer Insights for more questions and answers from David and Justin, who are the amazing developers who spend some time answering more questions that we weren't able to answer on the community Q&A or on the Reddit Q&A. It's a day of Q&A. Friday, Griddle Champions from 10 till noon. Peyton Slay from 12 till 2, where we are going to be starting the Beholder, the special Beholder. Come to the Discord, find out what you need in order to prepare for Beholderness. And then Garwar's Guide to Everything from 2 to 4. And then Garwar is back again on Saturday for another Garwar's Guide. He will be doing Garwar's Guide to Idle Champions Presents. Because then a week from today, a week from right now, I'll still be here. I'll be doing this again. But a week and several hours from now will be the first episode of Idle Champions Presents. And you should watch, because it's going to be awesome. And I say that even though it is a D&D game that is going to be made up on the spot with amazing people. But that's the thing. Do I know what's going to happen? No. I have no idea. No one does. Except maybe B. Dave. And any good DM will tell you that they've got a plan, and the plan goes out the window as soon as it is presented to the players. But here's the thing. You've got an amazing cast who are all playing absolutely awesome champions and are going to be going after Tiamat at a super high level. So I highly, highly recommend that you come and watch, that you cheer them on, that you start to vote in the votes that are going to be starting tomorrow, so that you can not only affect the game, hopefully, and help out a bunch of champions be able to defeat Tiamat, but help yourself too. It's going to give you some really good stuff. So definitely vote every day to see what happens, and join us next week, because it's going to be fun, and I am excited. And let me do a couple quick last moment questions. KB Martinson, how often can we unlock champions? So you can unlock champions as often as you have time gate pieces. So if you have a bunch of time gate pieces, you can pay 6 time gate pieces and unlock a previous champion. If you are talking about on the regular, every 3 weeks a new event happens, and in that event there are 3 champions you get a chance to unlock. A brand new one that is new to everybody, and the one that was available last year, and the one that was available 2 years ago. So you have lots of chances to unlock champions. And Bilzlowski002, how do we get Warden? Time gate pieces. Open up a time gate, or use the free time gate weekend that comes up. We're going to be having one this weekend. Opens up on Friday. Use your free time gate to get Warden. If Warden is not one of the champions that's offered you in a free one, use your time gate pieces to open up a time gate and get yourself a Warden, because Warden is awesome, especially when you put them in the Witchlight skin. And then they've got awesome wings, because wings are amazing. And Nan Breadlow, final question I will answer. If we had a champion that was a maple syrup thief kobold, I mean, we've already got, I'm already working on a baker kobold. Are they a baker by day and a maple syrup thief by night? And with that, I'm going to say thank you to my absolutely wonderful moderator, Ryan, for being amazing. And thank you for helping produce the show. Thank you to chat for coming along on this nerd venture with me. I'm going to have some more nerds because I just got through 2 hours of talking. Oh, that sugar rush. I love it. Thank you to Take This for the shirt and for being awesome. And thank you to you, chat, for hanging out with me for 2 hours. Stick around for Bardic Inspiration. You know, that internet sensation sweeping the nation. It's Bardic Inspiration. And I'll see you next encounter.